Before taking a trip to Chicago with my Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Administration 450 college-level class at Western Illinois University, I had to plan a travel itinerary for a group of 5 young adults, 19 to 20, traveling from the suburbs of Romaville to Chicago. The purpose of this project was to become more familiar with the big city and all the services Chicago had to offer before my class and I began our own trip to Chicago. When researching Chicago, I searched many different websites for activities that young adults would be interested in and made sure all activities were appropriate for their age. Also, I explored many different hotel options within walking distance from all main attractions and ensured a low cost. When planning the group's 3-day itinerary, I considered many factors. One of the most important issues was cost due to the young adults' fixed income. Also, I had to keep in mind their age and the activities they were going to partake in. These 5 young adults did drive to Chicago, but are unfamiliar with the city. Therefore, they parked their car at the hotel and walked, took the bus, rode the train, or took a cab to and from all attractions. It was my job to get these 5 people to and from their destination safely and without getting lost. In the back of their itinerary, all group members had maps of Chicago, directions, and information about each attraction they were going to see. It was extremely important for me to ensure that all members knew what to expect at each attraction and where it was located. These 5 young adults started their journey on Friday, May 9th, 2008, and stayed in Chicago until Sunday, May 11th, 2008. Their journey began when they left the suburb of Romaville to visit the bright and entertaining city. On Friday, May 9th, 2008, the 5 young adults left Romaville at 1 p.m. and were at their hotel, the Travelodge, downtown by 1:45 p.m. This illustration states the times of arrival, departure, directions, and transportation mode of each attraction on their first day in the big city. The group was able to see the Sears Tower, eat at Lou Mitchell's restaurant, and see the wonderful Buckingham Fountain. After a long day of travel, it was time for the group to walk back to the Travelodge located on 165 East Harrington Street in downtown Chicago. On Saturday, May 10th, 2008, the 5 young adults woke up and started their day at 10 a.m. This illustration states the times of arrival, departure, directions, and transportation mode of each attraction. The group was able to eat at the hotel's continental breakfast until 10:30 a.m. After getting ready and beginning their day, it was time to partake in a day filled with events. It started off with lunch at an Italian restaurant, Aurelio's, and then proceeded to the Shedd Aquarium. The Shedd Aquarium is located very close to Navy Pier, one of Chicago's biggest attractions and sights to see. Next in store was Navy Pier's Ferris wheel, followed by other architecture and sites located directly on the pier. After sightseeing, it was time for dinner at the famous Billy Goat Tavern on Navy Pier. The group spent their entire day at Navy Pier taking in the sights, watching thrilling entertainment, eating delicious food, and enjoying their day on Lake Michigan. At 9:30 p.m., it was time for the young adults to walk back to their hotel and get some rest for their last day in the big city. On Sunday, May 11th, 2008, the group woke up early, ate breakfast, packed their belongings, and transferred their luggage to their car. Even though they checked out of the hotel, there were still some attractions to see in Chicago. The group walked to the Magnificent Mile to eat lunch at the Hard Rock Cafe, shop, and see the sights. Before leaving the Magnificent Mile and heading out of Chicago, the 5 young adults grabbed a snack at Sarah's Pastries and Candies and walked along the beach on Lake Michigan. At 6 p.m., it was time to leave the thriving city and head back to Romaville. The 5 young adults' journey was over, but Chicago is awaiting their return. During their group's trip to Chicago, they were able to experience the city and partake in many entertainment attractions. Since the 5 young adults had a fixed budget they could spend over the 3-day period, I had to develop an itinerary to meet their needs. This illustration shows all 5 members' combined total for each day and the total cost of their trip. For 2 nights and 3 days, the entire trip for everyone cost $1,262.75. For each member, the entire mini vacation cost $252.55. This budget was in their price range and still allowed each person to experience Chicago. Planning this itinerary helped me gain knowledge of Chicago and learn the steps of the planning process when formulating an itinerary. Chicago has a lot to offer, and I hope that each member of the group had a wonderful and memorable experience that they will never forget.